Her grandmother is one of the richest people on the planet. She owns funeral parlors, she owns cemeteries. She makes her living from death.
I offer a friends and family discount.
Thing, are we rolling? Hello, it is Caitlin Riley, and welcome back to the Wednesday Season 2 official WOCast. The last episode before the mid-season break was insane. Talk about a cliffhanger. To help me break it all down, I am so excited to welcome Fester Addams himself, Fred Armisen, to talk about playing Wednesday's favorite unhinged uncle.
Nothing like a good jolt to get this party started.
And I cannot believe I'm saying this, the actual Joanna Lumley will be joining me to talk through her appearances in this season as Grandmama. I am so excited to welcome my next guest, the one, the only Fred Armisen.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Can I call you Freddie?
Yeah, you can, whatever you want.
Okay, great.
That was a great introduction.
You can call me Chi-Chi if you want.
Okay, hi, Chi-Chi.
Hi. Now, I want to talk about Uncle Fester. What drew you to this role? What was the process in casting? What were the conversations? Did Tim reach out? Tell me everything.
It was a combo of all those things.
Okay.
For lack of a better way to put it, like my agent was like, would you be interested in playing Uncle Fester? And I had this feeling of like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like very much like, oh, I'm the right guy for that role.
Yeah.
And so they reached out and I had a conversation with Tim on the phone. And it was something that like, I really felt like this is a place that I want to be. And then from there, I started to just watch the 60s show, you know, with Jackie Coogan and because every iteration of Uncle Fester, it's almost like a tradition.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I wasn't trying to like put my spin on it or redefine it. I was like, let me do the tradition of Uncle Fester. And then that original is like, I pretty much on set watch clips of it.
Oh, wow. Like that was a direct line of inspiration.
It's like, yeah, a direct line of inspiration. And I even try to get the voice. I'm like, let me match this voice. And because my vocal cords are different than his, it'll come out my own way. But I was like, let me just really try to copy this.
Right.
Hello?
You rang?
Thanks for coming on such short notice.
For my favorite niece? I'm always a lurk away.
Are there any other influences you have rolling around in your head when portraying this character? Like, are you pulling from anything specifically aside from trying to honor past performances? Like, are there any like animal influences or physical influences or anything like that?
That is such a good question.
Thank you so much.
There is a kind of thing that I think about of 70s TV reactions, like really making a face.
Yes.
Even though Addams Family isn't 70s, something about in the 70s, there was like a real sort of, I don't know, like
you know
really
what I just thought
something.
of? I thought of Three's Company is like a perfect example of that.
Fantastic. So Mr. Roper would actually make a face.
Yeah.
Even in shots where I'm not speaking, I do try to like...
Mm-hmm. You're in your own world.
There's this movie, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Danny DeVito has a really small role in it.
Yes.
And he's like a patient there.
Yes.
But the thing is, like, every time he's sitting there, he's like kind of smiling. Mm-hmm. Like there's something something in there is like, just keep it going.
I love that. I love
That's
that
nice
so
of you
much.
to say. I'm not bragging or going like, hey, I do this thing. I just mean that like, if you're asking if there's anything that I do, I put my mind to every shot, every scene, because I just love it. Like in my life, and this is like the biggest thing I've done. This is like...
Do you really feel that way?
Yep.
That's incredible.
In terms of like people saying something to me.
Uh-huh.
Like my whole career, people have wonderful things to say to me and they're very appreciative. But this is the only time where they've got stacks of pictures of Fester. Mm-hmm. Where they're like, will you sign this? So that's what I feel like it's more of like a family thing.
I need you to find Lois. Could be a patient, could be a doctor. Just make sure that the head shrink, Dr. Fairburn, can't trace you back to me.
Oh, don't worry. If there's an expert on getting committed to a loony bin, it's me.
I want to talk about your relationship working with Jenna,
Yeah.
working on your characters together, their relationship. It kind of feels like Uncle Fester is like a funny, silly older brother to Wednesday.
Yeah.
What was it like working on that relationship this season? Because they really, get into schemes together.
Well, it's definitely that. Them getting into schemes together. It used to feel like Fester is helping, but now it's a little more like conspiratorial, where it's like the two of them are like, we both have a goal. And it also used to be a little bit more like Fester was kind of like swooping in,
To save the day, yeah.
And now it's a little more complex than that, which I really like.
Well, why do you think Wednesday trusts Fester so much? They just have this like kinship, and
I don't know. I don't know if it's a matter of like anything concrete. I think it's more, that's in life. There's people you just like and know, and you're like, I understand who you are. And because he is mysterious, I think that's what appeals to Wednesday.
Right.
Is that because he's off doing, I guess, crime? He's like a
Crime.
sort of like, there's like a Robin Hood element, but I don't think he's giving anything.
no, that it's
back.
giving Robin Hood, but he just keeps it. He just
Yeah.
keeps the result.
Yes,
which,
he is like a bad Robin Hood.
I'd like a suite, the biggest you've got. One night only.
Welcome to the inn at Apple Hollow, Mr. Diabolic. I'll need a credit card.
I'd rather pay in cash. Don't worry, that washes off.
I wanted to talk about Fester and Thing this
Yes.
season. They have such a unique, funny relationship. What was it like working with Victor? He is my favorite.
Oh.
Thing is my favorite. Talk to me about that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
He is my favorite. The fact that he's there on set it's kind of funny. And he also, because he's in a position where he can't really move his body, it starts getting a little, for lack of a better word, getting a little sweaty. Mm-hmm. It's like a workout.
Oh,
So he's got to be
it's
in this.
acrobatic.
Yeah, it's acrobatic.
Yeah.
And he's sort of like in this position, and then like you could feel the sort of like, oh, this is not easy for anybody.
Right.
What I also like about him is he's really into it.
He's so into it.
Yeah.
He's so into it. It's a complete art form for him.
Yep.
He takes so seriously. He's so intent about the emotions of his hand and the movements. It's a whole thing.
As it should be.
Speaking of Thing, he happens to be here. He's actually helping me produce this. He's actually right over there in the booth if you want to say hi.
Hey.
I mean, he's not, the best producer in the world, but Thing. I was kidding.
It's good to see you.
Thing. Find Stonehurst, and you'll find Lois. Hey, Wilbur. I'm looking for a schlub named Stonehurst. He won amnesiac bingo yesterday. Forgot to pick up his prize. Can you point him out?
Old Gus prefers a different type of company.
I wanted to talk about the makeup for it. I mean, how long does your makeup take?
It takes a while.
Did you have to shave your head or was it a cap?
I wanted to shave my head.
Very method of you. Very Daniel Day.
It's also a little easier.
Oh, that's a good point.
Putting on a cap, like it takes a while and it's like a lot of prosthetics and stuff.
Right.
So it's kind of easier just to go in and also like the way actors move when they have a bald cap on, sometimes it's very protective.
Oh, yeah. You're always worried about the back.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So, they slather on all this sort of whitish makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only prosthetics they use are over my eyebrows. So there's like this, like, they cover my eyebrows. So there's like this, like, hulking kind of like
Right.
thing like this.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
That's how good it was.
Oh, no, it's great.
Yeah.
So it still actually takes a while, but less than it would have if I had a bald cap. But it takes a little while, which is kind of nice. Like, you come in, we shot this in Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
And so then everyone has this Irish accent. So I'm just quietly getting my makeup on and everyone's just chatting away. And I love it.
So we find out this season that Fester has 18 passports.
Yes.
33 driver's licenses. You need to tell me right now, we need to expand on the universe of Fester.
Yes.
Did you sit and take all of these pictures? Where do you think he's been? Where do you think he's going?
I did. I really did sit for all these
Wow.
pictures. It's a very hard job. But the thing about Fester is he moves fast. And traveling, when you get to an airport, all the lines you have to get in it is just slows you down. So for him, it's like, how do I get through airports quickly? To
What does
travel,
he
you have
do?
to. He's got them all ready. And for European countries, he's got one. That, like, he just keeps it Danish.
Mm-hmm.
Denmark is a sort of Europe of Europe.
Right.
You know, like the most sort of almost caricature of Europe that you can get. So then he's got a different one for Great Britain, the UK, different one for Ireland. South America, a bunch of those. Chile, Brazil, keeps it all going.
Wow.
He has an Italian one for fun,
Where do you think his favorite country is?
Iceland.
Iceland.
You just look at Iceland and it looks like Fester.
It does, actually.
Yep, because there's like all this sort of lava, you know, like sort of that
The
black
lava
like
rock.
around his eyes.
Yep.
And then, of course, all the snow and ice.
Snow and ice,
for his,
perfect.
His skin.
Now, in terms of the script
Yeah.
and character development, what was it like collaborating with Alan Miles?
That's great because what we do is we talk before the season starts.
Mm-hmm.
And they go, this is what we have planned. And I just get excited. So it's never have I had to been like, no, I think he should do this. It's always like this.
You're just super excited.
So, always excited.
It was such a joy to talk to you today.
Likewise,
Thank you so much for speaking with me.
my pleasure. And thanks for having me.
We have Fester Fumagalli, Fester Dubois, and my personal favorite, Fester Fiesta. What is your real name?
Well, it's just Fester. Like an open wound.
You do understand you're in a psychiatric hospital.
They used to call them funny farms. My parents abandoned me at one when I was 10. They said it was summer camp, but they never came back.
Tell me what you see, Fester. Death. Death. An ice cream cone. Wait, turn it that way. Still death.
Okay, so my conversation with Joanna Lumley is next. I have to look my best. Okay. Thing, how do I look? Okay. So fix the hair. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Thing. Thanks, buddy. It is my delight and my honor to welcome here today Grandmama herself, my dearest Joanna Lumley. Joanna, thank you for being here with me today.
Caitlin, I am so thrilled. You're the person on the planet I most long to meet. And now we meet.
That is, can you put that in writing and I can frame it and just sleep with it?
It's so lovely being introduced as Grandmama because I have played grannies before, but in England, probably just called Granny. Anyway, suddenly Grandmama sounds quite grand. And I've been aunts, and I've been mothers, and I've been all kinds of parts of the family. And now I'm a Grandmama, so that's wonderful.
Grandmama, it's very, there's a joie de vivre about it. There's a glitz and glamour about it, I have to say.
Well, especially about her, about Hester Frump.
I wanted to talk about how you got involved in the show and involved in this cast and what the conversations were.
The conversation was this. My agent said, Tim Burton is going to call you because he wants you to be in his show Wednesday. And then suddenly there was a Zoom call with Tim. There he was on the line looking just like himself and saying, will you play this part? And it all sounded I just went, yes, immediately. So I felt like Hester from the very start, from the care they took with my wardrobe, which was going to be stern and cruel and sort of high-collared or pinched or leathery, with the same kind of Wednesday clompy great boots and jewelry
Yes.
and a very, very cruel and very beautiful hairdo, where I had 2 wigs, one white wig put down and then black wig on top of that, and then the white wig plaited up over the top of it. Most elaborate every time I was shooting. So it was all magic. And from that, and the beautiful writing, Alan Miles, the showrunners, I mean, their stuff is really beautiful. So it was just the most wonderful, complete little character given to me to inhabit. Nothing stirs the senses like a funerary urn. The only people who deserve to be buried in this dump are the maintenance staff.
Grandmama.
Did you have any other prior knowledge about the Addams family in the past, the old TV show in the 60s?
And the cartoon strip from which it all started, of course, because although it's colossal in America, it is well known in England. But of course we knew about the films. And of course I can remember, I think particularly Angelica Houston playing Morticia. But
Yes.
they were all... of course they are, Tim Burton perfect. They were all gothic and dark and a strange family, and I can remember them all very, very white with black hair and stark eyes and quite a lot of scars. I remember, was it Lurch the butler, I think I remembered, and Uncle Fester, wonderful names and rather weird kind of characters. But this version of it is quite extraordinary. For a start, I think it's extremely bold and sweet to jump onto Wednesday and make this from her point of view, her story, to a kid at school, at boarding school, of extremely talented children with different abilities, of which, of course, Wednesday's outstanding amongst them. And she comes from an outstanding family. And Hester, her grandmother, is one of the richest people on the planet because she makes her living from death. She owns funeral parlours, she owns cemeteries, she owns everything to do with death. She lives off it. It's a family business. A good run through the tombstones always makes you feel alive. Was that crow luring you into a murderous trap? Varicose and I had wagers.
The avian that controls them just stole all my evidence. I've rattled their birdcage.
The plot thickens. What's next?
I need you to buy the cemetery and find out who authorized those cremations.
Why would I do something so rash?
Because once you tell my mother that you're finally getting me into the family business, all of her childhood insecurities will come bubbling to the surface.
Well played, my dear. You know exactly how to worm your way into my cold, desiccated heart.
I wanted to talk about the character of Grandmama, and specifically in episode 4. What was it like walking onto set that day? I mean, how did it feel kind of stepping into this character?
Well, it was stepping into this set for a start, which was the cottage where Morticia's living. It's just death. It's death. Everything is skulls and webs and old dead wings of things and sense of it's immensely dark with a fire flickering in the grate. And of course, white-faced Catherine, beautiful white-faced Morticia standing there with her long black hair, and Wednesday. And it was rather lovely because it was my first real introduction to either of them. You realise from that what a bond these two have between them. It's kind of jumped a generation. It's as if Wednesday is particularly adored by this grandmama, who's a bit offhand with poor little Pugsley, and I think very, very naughty about Morticia. She's very spiteful about Morticia. What happened to your sister was a tragedy, but even if I had said something, she would never have listened.
Unlike me, who took every one of your withering words to heart.
Is that your sales pitch to get me to donate to the Nevermore Gala? I heard they put you in charge. No doubt they're hoping you can convince me to chisel open my casket of riches.
I'm raising funds, not the dead. And besides, we both know you'd rather be buried with your millions.
I am willing to make a donation. But there is one condition.
Isn't there always with you, Mama?
Give Wednesday back her book. It's quite a little tussly scene. So it was lovely, quite a big one to start off with. Great.
My favorite part of this season was seeing this multi-generational relationship with these 3 women in this family. What was it like cultivating those relationships with Catherine and Jenna and filming that scene?
It's so cleverly written. We know the mother-daughter relationships that go on. So between Hester, my character, and Morticia, and between Morticia and Wednesday, a kind of friction. Quite often they like the boys best. Mamas like their bum. The boy is the mama's favourite, And the girl, they're always finding some fault with her, picking on her. And I think Hester picks on Morticia, and Morticia disapproves of Wednesday. So it's a nice little frictional thing firing up and down. And you can see how Hester, who was probably rather wild in her youth and reckless and stingy and very, very powerful, would rather love Wednesday, who she can see has got so many of her own traits and characteristics. I know that she's disappointed in Morticia in everything. She thinks she could be more daring, she could be more powerful, she could be less kind of on the back foot all the time. And Hester, who's got used to cracking the whip and having everything her own way and being very bold and very cruel, can't understand why Morticia is so wet. I think she thinks she's wet. She's disappointingly married. That's
Right.
one mark, bad black mark against her.
Don't get married, ladies.
Just don't get married, or only marry the person who Hester wants you to marry, which is obviously not this one. She's horrible. Luis and I luckily adore each other. I call him, when we're in the makeup, I call him Luisito, and he calls me Jojo, because those are our children's names.
What nickname would you give me?
I'd call you Catty the Cat.
Oh, I love it. Everyone call me Catty the Cat, okay? Call me Catty the Cat.
It's interesting. It's interesting watching these stories unfold and so many different parts of the stories unfolding for all the different characters with this little pivot, this little extraordinary character in the middle. I mean, Wednesday, Jenna has made her into something extremely special. Not often you get to do that with a teenage character. And Jenna to understand and to behave, to have caught it, I don't know, so absolutely. Very clever.
It's all in the wrist.
Shoddy work, I must say. Lumpy.
That's odd. Here, just like I taught you.
Overtones of deer, hints of squirrel and raccoon, and a subtle finish of Shih Tzu.
Very good. What's missing?
Human.
Can you give us any clues on what we can expect from Hester Frump in the second half of this season?
We get to see her very, very spectacular house where she lives and where Wednesday had spent a lot of her childhood, which was a truly phenomenal real house in Ireland called Powerscourt, which is one of the great splendours south of Dublin, with the most spectacular cascading terraces going down to a fountain, and this beautiful mansion at the top of it. And so that was Hester's place, and it's lovely. I always love to see where people live and what their homes are like and what it's like there. And we get to meet, of course, her wonderful servant, Varicose, who is the sort of female version of Lurch. Just a great sort of heavy-foreheaded, white-faced sort of thunk who doesn't speak, who just lunks about taking care of Hester, who bosses her about cruelly. We get to see Hester just giving us a glimpse of the extraordinary powers. She's decided to retire most of her abilities, but when needed, she can summon them up again. And so all these things are yet to come, yet to be seen.
Joanna.
Catty the Cat, do not leave me. Don't go. Oh, I've loved talking to you.
Joanna, I love talking to you. I mean, can we move in together?
Sure.
I don't know what else to say.
Just let's do it. And can you come over and see us if we shoot any more? I think we're going to be shooting series 3 at some stage. Won't you come over?
Well, I have an idea. Here's my idea. And let's just all get our emails out. I think that Hester Frump needs a spinoff, and I think that she needs to go on her own journey. And I think that we need to do a little bit of her past and see young Hester Frump. And I think it needs to be me.
Oh, I love that.
I don't make the rules, but I'm going to try. So you send an email and I'll send an email.
Okay, babe.
Thank you so, so much for speaking with me today. And I cannot wait to move in together.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, Catty the Cat.
What an episode to take us into the mid-season break of Wednesday. Monsters, conspiracies, a psychiatric asylum break, and the cliffhanger to end all cliffhangers. Is Wednesday still alive? Is Tyler still alive? Who were all those patients and Lois, and will we ever see them again? Did Uncle Fester run off into the sunset with Louise? These are things that we need to know. We'll be back when the show returns to break down all the latest from the world of Wednesday. I'm Caitlin Riley. See you next time.